bloodstream and whether, nanotechnology makes a difference there. And then also measuring. So we suggest using a consumption method that you can actually dose and measure more accurately. So a sublingual spray, tincture, or a buccal type of delivery method. So milligrams that you can deliver. It's very, very difficult to measure that when you're vaporizing or when you're putting a topical on that's supposed to be transdermal or smoking. So those methods will help us ensure that we're getting more in line with dosage requirements as well. So yes, it's personalized. Yes, in that whole compounding kind of idea that I had in my head, it would be the end product would be a product that you can consume either sublingually or through a tincture or something like that, because you will have more precise dosage that way.
Yeah, that's very interesting. And I think new patients especially are sort of their own guinea pigs in a way, because there is so little information about actual dosing and the different ways that the doses will impact based on the delivery method. And it's actually a good thing that you can't overdose on cannabis, because I think people are experimenting. I mean, but it is a learning curve for people who are beginning to take cannabis for the first time to treat their illnesses.
Absolutely agreed. And that's one of our mottos, is try to take the guesswork out.
Yeah. And, something else too, which I think is very good on an ethical level, if you will. Mm-hmm. If you've got these profiles of what people should be taking, these are not being created for the purpose of selling a product made by you, right? Or
we don't make any products.
Right. So you can trust the information a lot more when you're not getting the information from a product manufacturer, kind of in the way I was talking about how pharmaceutical companies gave the FDA information that they created without much policing.
But it's also in our industry. I mean, you have all kinds of erroneous publications that are coming out on, why our CBD is the best.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, well, I read it, but I don't. Who's to say there's not the best? So yeah, being autonomous in this industry is really important to us, to be able to guide people and make suggestions on different people's products. If you're a manufacturer and you're doing it right and you align with those suggested ratios, we will make that suggestion that you have a product that aligns with it. We don't care whose product it is, as long as it's made well. They have COAs in place, and their test result, everything else. So as long as it aligns that way, we want to make sure that we give you the best possible suggestion to match your profile, regardless of who the manufacturer is.
Yeah, and I think that because the FDA has this new sort of policing role in this industry right now, especially on the hemp CBD side of things, it would be really important for product producers to actually heed the advice, get out of the business of diagnosing and pitching certain health angles, and leave that up to the people who are reporting the science and, including the media as well, because they're going to start getting into some serious hot water if they start saying our product is best for treating autism. What they should be doing is they should say our product is pure, and here's what you get. Here's the profile of what we put into our product, and here's the information of where to go to find out whether or not this particular profile will work for your specific condition. And I think that what you're offering is equally valuable to the producers as it is to the consumer.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. That's our goal. Exactly.
Yeah. Well, and 2 weeks ago, I did an episode that the title of it started out, "We're all in this together." There is that spirit of co-opetition in this industry. And, I think that everyone is better off when they start sharing the knowledge and resources that they have, so that, each person or each company can stay in its lane and not get into trouble with the federal government, and not start making promises to the consumer that they can't keep, and not hyping what cannabis can do for people, because, the science is starting to speak for itself. And I think people are realizing how important it is to human health. So it's It's interesting. It's really interesting. And I hope that if there are producers out there listening to this, that they reach out and talk to the scientific community, like your company, for example, and start collaborating in that way so that they can stay compliant with federal law and they can do a better service to the consumer and help build consumer trust, because that stigma has been awfully hard to break. And if we get into the business of overpromising and under-delivering without sharing those resources, it's going to hurt the entire industry, not just the people who are doing it. So, yeah, interesting, huh?
I appreciate you saying that. It's exactly it. And we have a lot of manufacturers that are contacting us all the time. Some of them, they want to differentiate their business in some way, which is fine. But at the end of the day, the results are you're going to get a much better product that's going to be much more effective for a certain population group. Maybe I'm naive, but I really believe that the core of this industry is in it for the right reason. Sometimes, the money, the other green, kind of gets our focus off what our initial goals were, but we are here to make sure that this plant that we all know about stays and becomes part of everyday, wellness. And for people that have got into this for the right reason, they seem to find their way back to doing that. And the more personalized, the more honed in, the less risk that we take, the more science that we include, the more we start being inclusive to the medical community, all that, it'll just elevate our entire industry, and that's the goal.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. But like with many industries, the money corrupts things. There's a lot of greed out there. And that's been kind of my fear too, when eventually this is completely descheduled. It's going to change the landscape quite a bit, and there are going to be a lot of people eager to, get in on the green rush.
Yep.
Money-wise, in fact, you're already starting to see it. But if we can get the federal government out of the way and allow this to organically grow and serve the people that cannabis can heal, then, we're all going to be better off for it and all live longer lives for it. So anyway, but I am getting a signal that it is time to start wrapping it up. Do you have any last thoughts, Len?
First of all, I really appreciate the platform. Super grateful. The more I can communicate this and the importance of cannabis being a personal experience, I think the more people start coming out of the closet in a way that they've had a negative experience, and that's why they don't take cannabis. I mean, that's the thing that I hear most of all. It's not for me. It makes me paranoid. I get anxiety. It makes me feel depressed. I'm like, well, what do you consume? Well, I don't know. And that's the first thing. First of all, ask the questions. Know what it is that you're putting in your body. Number two, understand what it is that you're putting in your body, how your DNA plays a role in it. And then all of us, from the foundation, which is DNA, all the way to the product manufacturer, distributors, all of us need to collaborate and work together for the most effective experience. So I appreciate this platform of sharing that information. We're always looking to improve, and we have a lot of new things that are going to be coming out in the market. Right now, we sequence over 400,000 markers or SNPs. So not only are we focusing on everything that directly impacts your endocannabinoid system, but as I mentioned before, nutrition, your skin, your metabolic function, all these different things are going to be impacting your health and wellness, and we'll have more and more additional reports available as part of the Endocanna Health profile.
Well, thank you for what you said, and that's the whole reason that we're here.
No doubt, and I really appreciate you saying that too. And I just forgot one thing. It's since I have this platform, I just want to urge the manufacturers or the cultivators, get your products tested, not just for the potency of cannabinoids, but look at your secondary, your primary, your cannabinoids and your terpenes. This is the synergistic effect of this plant. It's not about isolating a molecule. It's about how all these molecules work together synergistically with your personal experience. So the more data we have on the actual products, the better we can do with our suggestions and aligning those products. If you're only testing for THC or potency, or you're testing for pesticides, but you're skipping over the other cannabinoids and the terpenes, then you don't have a complete picture of what it is that you're suggesting for the consumer. So that's what I would actually like to urge everybody, that let's get our testing to a level where we can go into anywhere in the country and purchase a product that we know has complete and full test results on cannabinoids and terpenes.
Very, very good point. This was really informative, and I look forward to this actually also becoming part of the standardization process too, as we move forward in this industry and start reaching some consumer standards. But I think that genetic profiling would really help to inform that whole process too, and that's a whole other conversation. But, well, this is fascinating, and for those who don't know, it's endocannahealth.com is your website, and I really appreciate all of your input today. It was very informative. I learned a lot myself, and so I thank you.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it as well. Thank you for the opportunity.
Oh, my pleasure. So, once again, it is time to bring yet another show to a close. It always seems to go by so fast, but once again, I'd like to thank my guest, Len May, for sharing his insights and knowledge with us today. If you'd like to learn more about the work that he's doing at Endocanna Health, please visit us online at thecannabisreporter.com. Click podcast to find today's episode, and there you will find his bio along with information and a link to his website. We have so many others to thank. First, I'd like to express our gratitude for our radio sponsors, Sunstate Technologies and ICS Solutions. We certainly couldn't be doing this without you. I'd also like to thank my production team here at the Cannabis Reporter for making us shine, and our programming directors at XRQK Radio Network and Society Bites Radio for distributing our show. And last but not least, thanks to all of you for listening. I'm Snowden Bishop, inviting you to join me next week, same time, same place, for another episode of the Cannabis Reporter Radio Show. Until we meet again, be safe, stay informed, share what you've learned, and make it a great day. Evergreen is calling.